without any further ado, James Paek.
Held me in the fire and I burned a little hard. You gave me new life when you held me underwater. Flying in the sky, reaching brand new heights, and I ran a little further, but just gravity finally pulled me back to the earth. I believe in a love that's greater, I believed in a grace that's better, but you let me down, you let me down. You started fires I can't let go. I left your heart to find the right home. I used to hate to see you, but years gone by, still love you, still burning with the heat of your love. Ooh, I'm just a runaway, my feet are finding their way to you. Just a prodigal, singing circles round the old tunes. Give me the gospel, give it to me new, or what it was always meant to be. Just a vagabond, blinded by the review. I believed in a love that's greater, I believed in a grace that's better, but you let me down, you let me down. You started fires I can't let go. I left your heart to find the right home. I used to hate to see you, but years gone by, still love you, still burning with the heat of your love. Just a runaway, my feet are finding their way to you.
Awesome. Well, it's so good to be here tonight and to be with you. Just going to share some songs off of a new record that has been a project of trying to navigate a lot of sorrow and disappointment, but coming out of that space of grief. Understanding that like grief is so important to live in. I think I've been living in grief pretty heavily for about 4 years. And this is the 5th year kind of outside of this moment that so much of what I thought was true kind of fell to the ground. And this is the 5th year, and it's the first year it feels like I'm finding my footing again. And so a part of that was wanting to write a record around that. So I got together with a couple of friends, and we wrote 4 songs about that journey of kind of finding life again. And so these are a couple of songs from that place. This is one called, what is it called? Fell in love with today, that's what it's called. Here we go.
You had me at your hello. I never had a chance to go. Had my stomach butterflying, heartbeat rising. If I wanna do right by you, gotta say goodbye to her. See you later. See you never. I fell in love with today, and I made my mind up, breaking up with yesterday, so we don't get tied up. I know it's better, better off this way. Hope I'll have a heart to stay. Eyes filling up with memories. Hearts writing tunes that will sing. At peace, but you got me fighting. Lord, now I'm flying. If I wanna do right by her, gotta say goodbye to her. See you later. See ya never. I fell in love with today, and I made my mind up, breaking up with yesterday, so we don't get tied up. I know it's better off this way. Hope I'll have a heart to say I fell in love with today, breaking up with yesterday. I know it's better off this way. Hope I'll have a heart to stay. Hope I'll have a heart to stay. I hope I'll have a heart to stay.
This one that we're going to do kind of goes back in time a little bit in the grief days, where I was asking some questions about, what does love look like, and what does goodness look like. And so, yeah, this one's called Is This Love?
They say love is a war, battlefields with hearts keeping score, lying, retreating, with hands that are bleeding. All that's left are the scars that we bore. I don't know if I believe them anymore. Is this love? Is this love? Even if it hurts me, is this love? I've been searching for something that is holy, that holds me when it knows me. Is this love? What if love doesn't change? Gives me courage when I get afraid. You can't buy it, you can't win it, 'cause it's already given. But they say that it can't be that way. But they say that it can't be that way. I don't know if I believe them anyway. I don't know. Is this love? Is this love? Even if it hurts me, is this love? I've been searching for something that is holy, that holds me when it knows me. Is this love? This love, even if it hurts me, is this love? I've been searching for something that is holy, that holds me when it knows me. Is this love? I've been getting this feeling. It's my body every time I see you look this way. I've been running out of reasons. I guess we're doing this afraid. Oh, we're bleeding out. What's left of us is falling through the cracks. Oh, we're spinning around. We're spinning around. Have we lost the words that we don't say? Stacking up the bills that we won't pay. Toss another dime in the wishing well. Just another spin on the carousel. Don't you know that we could be parallel? I'm getting tired of healing. We feel a little better, then we catch that cold again. Pride's a medication. We keep breaking our defenses. Oh, we're falling apart. What's left to hold us? Have we gone too far? Oh, you're falling apart. We're falling apart. Have we lost the words that we don't say? Stacking up the bills that we won't pay. Toss another dime in the wishing well. Just another spin on the carousel. Don't you know that we could be parallel? Yeah. Don't you know that we could be parallel? Don't you know that we could be parallel? 'Cause I've been missing you. Have you been missing me? Don't you know that we could be parallel?
Thank you. The next couple of songs, I actually want to invite my friends to come to the stage. This is Maha and Andrew. Can we give it up for them? And this is a little contingent. One of the journeys I've been on kind of in, particularly in the last 10 years, has been this idea of like embracing my heritage. There were so many places in faith that I felt like I actually had to erase who I was to fit in. And I just remember at one time, somebody came up to me, it's like, James, you look like really extra Asian today. And I was like, don't I look like that every day? But I think they honestly meant it like a little bit like you don't fit today. And it was this waking up moment of like, oh, there's a part of me that's let go of who I was in order to fit into spaces, even spaces that center themselves around the person of Jesus Christ. And the healing process for me in that journey has been God really showing me the beauty of the skin that he's put me in and the heritage of my history, not to neglect the parts of my heritage that might be broken and still need healing, but to also embrace the beauty of it. And that's the world, right? Everything oftentimes is both. Very few things are just one thing. There's beauty and there's brokenness. And I think embracing our heritage is really knowing how to hold both really, really well. And so I ventured with some friends and we started this thing called Homecoming. And Homecoming is gathering Asian American artists to write songs at the intersection of heritage and faith. And these are a couple of songs from that movement and that crew. The first song has a lot of words, so just give me a second. Okay, I think I'm ready to go. But these are a couple songs that we're doing.
I've been trying to keep it all together, playing make-believe like nothing's better. It's hard to keep on saving face, hide the pain and be okay. There's no way to keep this up forever. I've been trying to keep it all together. Running, I'm not getting any faster. Slowing down, I can't keep pace. If I stop now, was it a waste? Now my soul is crushed under the pressure. I'm just broken pieces, needing you. Shattered mirror, Lord, come into view.
I've been trying to piece it back together, hiding all the ways my soul is scattered. I don't know why I live this way, I must be scared of what they'll say. Help me live for all that truly matters. I'm just broken pieces, needing you. Shattered mirror, Lord, come into view. I'm just broken pieces, needing you. Shattered mirror, Lord, come into view. When I see you gone, I finally see the grace in your eyes, perfect love where I'm free. I don't have to strive, I can just be. I'm broken and you love every piece. I don't earn your love, help me receive. I'm fully loved and you're holding me. Don't have to strive, I can just be. I'm broken and you love every broken pieces, reflecting you. Shattered mirror, Lord, come shining through.
You're not a broken God. You're a perfect Father, and I am yours. You understand my thoughts. My burdens never bother. You hold me close. You're not a broken God. No, no, no.
You're not an absent God. You're a present Father, and I am yours. You're here and ever far. You're close within your harbor, and I am yours. You're not an absent God. Oh, you're not an absent God.
You're not an absent God.
No, no. You're not mad at me, 'cause you're a patient Father, and I perfect Father, nothing like a loving Father. You're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. There's nothing like a present Father, nothing like a patient Father. You're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. There's nothing like a perfect Father, there's nothing like a loving Father. You're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. There's nothing like a patient Father, there's nothing like a present Father. You're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. You're here, yeah. I know you're here. You don't hate me, God, 'cause you're a loving Father, and I am yours. You're strong when I am not. Your grace goes so much farther than I could know. No, you don't hate me, God. You don't hate me, God. No, He loves you. You don't hate me, God. You're a loving Father, yes you are. Yes, yeah, He loves you. He loves you. I know you love me. I know you love me.
Can we give it up for these guys? Andrew and Maha. Cool. Just one more tune. Is that cool? This one's called Runaway. And one of the probably one of the hardest learnings I've learned even this past year is that like nowhere's perfect. I wish there could be places that were perfect. And I grew up like such an idealistic kid. Like I wanted so badly for there to be like really good and perfect spaces. And as I'm getting older, I'm just realizing anywhere you go, there's going to be beauty and there's going to be things that are really rough and hard. And I think part of me, for my story, I don't want to necessarily say this to anybody else, but for me and my story, I've had to learn acceptance of that. I've had to learn acceptance that anywhere that I go, there will be beautiful things and there will be really ugly, broken things. And the invitation that I have now is to really ask myself, like, who is my neighbor? Because if God's placed me in that space, and I'm not talking about abusive spaces, I'm not talking about places of that nature. You run from those places, but hard places for me. Sometimes just plain out annoying places for me. Then I'm invited to love my neighbor. And I could either run away, but I'm realizing that finding my place is actually running back to the start and starting again. So this one's called Runaway.
Don't you wanna run away to greener grass and better days? Make-believing kids stories, are we dreaming? Or walking through life afraid? We edit life, cut up the tape, correct the pitch, get used to fake. But happy lives don't work that way, daydreaming, but holding all reality. Rock bottom is the new beginning. Now the road is leading all the way up, all the way down. I'm singing, I will stay, won't run away. We can find our happy ending on the way back to the start. Maybe good's not in what's coming, but right here where we are. Stay, don't run away, run away, run away. Stay, don't run away, run away, run away. You can feel it in the air, breathing in new atmosphere. It's thinner where the lows are near suffocating. Finally let me breathe again. Greener isn't over there. Greener's where you choose to care. Better glow when you live barely holding on. Could fall and be better. Rock bottom is the new beginning. Now the road is leading all the way up, all the way down. I'm singing, I will stay, won't run away. We can find a happy ending on the way back to the start. Maybe good's not in what's coming, but right here where we are. Stay, don't run away, run away, run away. Stay, don't run away, run away, run away. Stay, don't run away, run away, run away. Ooh, stay, don't run away, run away, run away. Stay, don't run away, run away, run away. It's easier to escape, but we can find our happy ending on the way back to the start. Maybe good's not in what's coming, but right here where we are. Stay, don't run away, run away, run away. Oh, stay, don't run away, run away, run away. We can find a happy ending on the way back to the start. Maybe good's not in what's coming, but right here where we are. Stay, don't run away, run away, run away. No, no, no. Stay, don't run away, run away, run away.
Cool. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate it.
I'm wondering whether to allow this interview to be something where we talk like no one's in the room, like we usually talk, or whether we should be a little bit more polite. So it might go in and out, yeah? When I think of you, you are a man outside of your music who carries tension really well. You may have not done that perfectly to your own admittance, but I really admire the way you handle tension as an artist in both the Christian world and the non-Christian world, in your music. And your voice is actually emblematic of that tension. And one of the things I know, though, is when you're a person who can stand in the middle of tension, you also become a lightning rod for all these emotions, spiritual attack, emotional attack, your own thoughts. And I'm just wondering, how do you handle that? How do you carry that? And what would be kind of your advice for artists that live in that space?
I don't have advice. If anyone has advice, they can give it to me. I'll just share my truth and what I'm dealing with, and knowing that I even hold that truth with open hands, and it changes, and I'm hoping to evolve and learn. For whatever reason, I've always been somebody that, like, what's true and real matters. So if you ever give me fluff, I was always the kid that would call baloney on you, you know? And I wouldn't say that, but I would say something else, but I would call that on you. And I think what's happening in our world today is we've fallen into the trap of believing a lot of stuff that aren't fully true. And there's a part of me that just is always going to fight for the truth. So, like, it's all good here. Are you sure? Are you sure it's all good there? I don't think that's honest, and I don't think that's an honest evaluation. It's all bad here. Are you sure? And I think my truth seeking and wanting to know what's whole, even if it doesn't feel the greatest, that feels better to me than living in some sort of false truth. And so I think that demands me to live in the tension. I don't know how else not to. Because if somebody's coming to me with a half-truth, I don't know how to just sit there and go, okay. Especially if I love them, especially if I'm proximate to them and have a say in their life, then I want to start asking questions and getting curious. Because maybe I'm wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. But more often than not, places aren't black and white. Most spaces are gray spaces. And I think more and more, artistry needs to speak to that gray space. Yeah.
That was a beautiful answer. What are some of the costs or consequences that come with that way of life? For yourself and also just for others to evaluate and think about for their own journey of truth.
I think the hard lesson for me is when does my truth seeking stem from self-righteousness versus love? And even when it's stemming from love, how am I not utilizing the right muscles to love the person that's in front of me, or the right pathway or the thing that reaches them? It is easy to be self-righteous. So that's a big cost, because when you're self-righteous, who wants to be your friend and who wants to be around you? And then the cost of love is everything. I don't think we often talk about that, you know. I think to love someone well, it costs you a lot. And so I know kind of the answer you might be looking for is that there's a lot of people that don't agree with me, and there's a lot of people who don't like me, and that's true. There's also a lot of people who love me and who agree with me. But I think the cost personally is not landing in one space or the other, and almost feeling always like you're kind of without home. Because home is the in-between. But to me, if I were to say anything from a Christian perspective, that actually is the invitation of the life of Christ. Jesus was fully God, but left his deity to become fully man, and he did not even have a pillow to lay his head. And so there's something about my existence that brings me proximate to the person of Jesus. And if I can hold that, sometimes it feels a little bit lighter.
Yeah. One of the things my earliest memory of you, and even as an artist, when I showcase because I feel like a proud dad a little bit. Yeah. I kind of have that vibe with you. And when I show people your artistry, the thing that is resounding is it's unexpected. You are an unexpected voice with an unexpected face. People make assumptions. You were even on a show called The Masked Singer, where...
Yeah. It was produced by the same people who did Masked Singer, but it was called Alter Ego. But
Alter Ego.
Premise.
Alter Ego.
Same premise.
Got it. Where they didn't get to see, but they heard you.
Yeah.
And how... until the very end, right?
Yeah.
And how does it feel to be a person who... every time you sing or every time you present your artistry, it's unexpected? And has that become a thing has that been something that you look forward to? Has that been something you don't like? Can you just speak to that?
That's a good question. Ooh. I think when I was younger and learning to embrace my heritage more, it kind of hurt. Because a lot of it meant that I didn't think that Asian people can sing that way. Now, it's different. I mean, we have K-pop all over the world right now. I'm older. I grew up where people didn't know what Korea was. They'd be, you're Chinese, right? And I'm like, no, I was in grade school. Like, no, I'm Korean, and it's in a little peninsula off of the mainland of China. And so I think when I was starting to embrace my heritage, and that was a really big part of my narrative and journey, it hurt to hear that, because I so badly wanted to see more people like me in the spaces. I didn't want it to be a surprise. But as I've gotten, I think, maybe more mature in my journey, I realized I can't control someone else's reaction to who I am. And so how do I make sure that I'm doing the work to minimize how that might affect me? And sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's really fun to see the surprise and the spaces I get welcomed to and the things that are said. Sometimes it's still tough. But I think the work of an artist hopefully is not to ignore those things, but by becoming proxy to them, allowing your character to be fortified and understanding, okay, I can't really control someone's reaction to me. I have some agency and some grace to hold how I might react to their reaction. And so how do I hold that well? And I don't want that to shake me as a person. I think for a long time I've allowed those types of things to shake my confidence, to shake my person. I remember standing on stages, some of the most influential stages, and there's this loud voice of like, you don't belong here. You don't belong here. And for a long time in my life, I allowed that voice to really shape my confidence in who I was. And as I've matured, I think that voice hasn't disappeared fully, but it's definitely a lot quieter and a lot less often that it speaks up.
I think artists have to wrestle with that loud voice a lot more than people. I mean, everyone is an artist, but you know what I mean. People who are actually pursuing their art, they have to deal with that at a much higher frequency and more often, right? You have been in Christian spaces and also the Christian music industry, and I just want to know what you think about a music industry that's Christian.
Rajiv asked before this, like, can I ask you anything? And I said yes. And now I'm thinking, maybe I shouldn't have said yes. Let me talk about what I think that the Christian music can be to the world. And what I think it can be in the invitation of Christ is it being an honest space, it being a space that tells real stories, that just like the Bible does, invites broken stories to be a part of the narrative and not just stories that talk about winning. I think it can be a space where there's more generosity in terms of sharing the stage and sharing tables and sharing space and sharing authority, because we just hold authority less. I think it could be, when I think about God as creator, and if we're holding that Imago Dei, I think we can be creating art that would really, really make the world and people all around question everything. And not even bad ways. I'm not even saying that in a judgmental manner, but just like that awe and wonder, that sense of like, how does this work? And I'm really hoping that Christian artists would hold that well. And I think there are a lot of them who are. I think there are a lot who are trying to rise up in that space and hold. And I actually am a little bit less a fan of this idea of like calling something in terms of industry Christian versus not. I grew up in the era where like I would go to a Christian bookstore and it's like, do you like NSYNC? Then you'll love this band. Do you like Korn? Then you'll like love this. We just were like Christian versions of. And I think it did something really bad to my soul. What it did to my soul is I started othering people that didn't believe like I did. It's like, I got to be different because there's something wrong with that, so I got to be different. And I think the truth of the matter is that God came to love the world, every one of us, and his love doesn't just extend to me. Imago Dei doesn't just extend to me. Imago Dei extends to every single person that's living on this planet. And so my hope is, how do we actually distill some of that? Let's talk about what's holy and profane. Let's talk about the intention of art. Let's talk about the theology of art and the exegesis of what we can learn about what the Bible tells us about what art should be and how it should connect us as humans. But I think the Likert scale or the evaluation of Christian versus not is way less effective than the evaluation of something being holy and profane. Because if someone, I remember going to a Coldplay concert and I'm outing myself as this guy, and it was Fix You, and I was hands up, crying, dude. I was sobbing, dude. It was a Home Depot Center, it's probably to this day one of my favorite spaces of musical liturgical worship. right? And, Chris Martin, I don't know if people would call him like, a worship leader or like a Christian songwriter, but he was that day for me. A lot of things were evaluated inside of me and looked at it just in the moment of that song, especially with that 2-note guitar solo, the bung dung 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 dung, and I'm just like, oh my God, So I am hoping that, and I think God's doing it. I think there are Christians all over the artist world and industry that are making really beautiful. They might not name themselves as such, but it's happening, and it's really speaking to culture and speaking to the world in a beautiful way. So I want more of that.
And speaking of more of that, you are putting a lot of that into the world. How do you navigate being an artist that wants to seek opportunity, but not necessarily become an opportunist? And how do you navigate that because I know this to be true, that you should probably be doing this full time because you're that good and that gifted. And in some ways you are doing it full time, but how do you navigate the space of opportunity versus being opportunistic?
Yeah, that's a fair question. I will say this, I have friends who are doing music full time, and I did for the last 5 years in a very beautiful way. The music industry right now is ripe for disruption because it's difficult. It's difficult for anybody to be making money. There's something about whatever happened with the music industry in all sectors where people who are filling, 5,000 cap rooms are still not making enough on their tours. It's insane. It's just hard right now. So I think some of that obviously weirdly is comforting because it's like I see people who I think should be and they're not, and they're still hustling and rolling. I don't know, opportunism, I don't think I'll ever defeat that in my life fully, but I think I've won a lot of it. And I think for me, the reason has become, music for me is becoming less and less about what it does for me. Music more and more has become what it does to me. When I remember I made my first record I got to make with this incredible producer named Tyler Chester and his friend James Krause. Really my friend James Krause who introduced me to Tyler. And we did this we went to Sonic Ranch, which is this incredible studio kind of on the border of Juarez in America. It's just this magical space, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm we're making music in this incredible studio. There, Bon Iver's been there. There's this. It's on a walnut farm, and they serve incredible breakfasts in the morning, and that did something to me, just making it. So there's something about when I make music, it makes me a different person. It's less about what it does for me. And part of that's because it's so hard. It's hard for it to do things for you. I've won a lot of music in ways that are incredible that I can't believe have happened. And music is something that often takes from you. There is something about and it's this weird conversation. I don't know the answer, but can we accept people's genius if their lives are destroyed by their obsession for pursuing that and operating in that genius? And I don't know the answer to that. I will say, man, this is beautiful. But I know for me, I can answer for myself, it's not worth that. For me, music is too sacred of a space. I want to make it with people that I love and respect, who love and respect me. And I want to make things that we are super proud of. And if we can do that, when we do that and when we're kind to each other, because it's who you make it with, what you make, but the really important thing is how you make it. I don't want to listen to a song and think back, man, I really took advantage of that person when I made this record. I want to look back and be proud of that. And when you do that, it's made me different. I walk differently. I speak differently. I think to me, I know it's a long-winded answer. The last thing I'll say is, I think there's something about creation that really is close to Imago Dei. That's why God is a creator. There's something that happens when you bear a child. There's something that happens when you put a project and put it into the world. There's something that happens when you create art and you put it into the world. Yes, it can affect the world around you, and that's always the hope and the dream, but what it does to you as a creator is immense. And so if I love these things as much as I do, I can only imagine like, man, what does that process for God look like? Like that must be like a whole different like level of understanding that I don't have. But if it's an iota of what I feel when I make something and I put it into the world, I'm like, man, that's good. What that does to me is priceless. You can't put a price tag on it.
So good. I want to end with this question. I heard a lyric today that I've never heard I've never even thought about that concept in any song, Christian or not. And it was one that you did with Homecoming, and I think it was, "You Don't Hate Me." And I was so struck by that lyric that you guys had the freedom to call out what was going on inside, and then putting that in a song, in a worship song. And I'm just curious, one, how do you have that freedom? How do you get there as an artist? Because so much of what your desire is to bring honesty to the forefront of any creative expression. How do you get there? And how is that a part of the worship experience in general?
Yeah, that's a great question. That song was written at a homecoming writing day. So we gathered, probably a dozen writers, and we actually brought in somebody to share their story. And his story, and I'll leave him anonymous. He actually shares it pretty freely, but he's an Asian American man, and he actually works now with young people in helping them find the beauty in their story, and primarily in like kind of developing areas of the world. And part of his story is that he was Vietnamese. His family fled Vietnam, the killing fields and all of that. And his father abused him like to a degree that's inhuman. Locked him in cages, beat him up, locked him in the basement. And somehow, and I still don't understand this, to be honest. I'm like, is this right? Is this okay? But somehow the crux of his story is that he learned and had a capacity to forgive his father, and that in his later years, then at his father's deathbed, sat beside him and said, hey, I love you, and there's a God who loves you. Because in his belief, he really wanted his father to receive Christ in order to spend eternity with Christ. And so he wanted to share that love with his father, so he does. And his father then receives that. And so we're just here like listening to this story, and I'm just like, what in the world? But what it conjures up for, I think, a lot of Asian Americans is most of us who are second generation, we've had a bit of a distance from our biological father, some for different reasons, but even just from a cultural standpoint, when your father's present and there, I remember one time I was with my dad, and we had gotten into another fight because he's a lot like me, and so we're just like, we could get into a lot of fight. And we sat, and I apologized to him, and he actually apologized to me, which is insane. And I realized, like, my dad can never fully be himself when he's in my presence. I can never fully be myself in his presence if we're going to have some sort of meeting together because of how we were raised. And there was a little bit of grief in that, but the beauty of that is we choose discomfort to be close to one another and to love one another. And so it's bringing up that story in me. It's bringing up stories, of all the writers. And we just started listing, I was in that, right? What are the things that we might say about our Father, or even might say about God? And those were the three things that our dad's broken, our dad's mad at us, our dad's not present, he's absent, and our dad hates us. And how do we name that? Because so often we can project that then to a God who asks us to call him Father. And I think the only way to do that is to name those things and then to allow truth to replace those lies, which feels very Pentecostal, but I'm Pentecostal, baby, so it is what it is. I'm a Pentecostal tongue-speaking man over here. And so we just let's just write. What's been so great about Homecoming, because I've wanted it to be a safe space, a protected space really, is it didn't feel like a challenge. Like there was nobody like, can we say that? Can we do that? Like, oh, is that what we feel? Let's write it. And there's kind of a freedom in that. I think the best songwrites for any songwriter is there's two things. There's vulnerability and there's freedom. You're really connected to one another, and you have you feel the safety just to go for it, you know. And I've really, me and a couple of folks really have fought for home. We're not perfect, but we've really fought for that. And so for us, it didn't feel like we were daring anything, to be honest. It didn't feel like taking a chance at all. That just felt like in the moment we heard the story and how to respond with song. Yeah.
Thank you for that. And thank you to your friends that wrote that song. I want to end with one thing, and this is an uncomfortable question because it's about you specifically. But I also want you to answer it because this is important for people that surround artists, particularly performing artists. When you pray, what is it that you want to become as an artist this year and next year? Like, what is your deepest desire? And number two, how can those of us around you support you in that pursuit? And I want everyone to hear it for James, because we're going to do that for him, but also every other artist in your life.
It's a great question. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. Yeah, if I want to find peace in the journey that I'm on in creating things. Like knee-jerk reaction, would love to have more finances to build the things that I want to build, more connections to build them in a way that feels true to the vision that I might have behind them. But I'm going to be honest, God's been really kind in that way. Like I've been able to work with people that I'm like, I'm not even sure how this is working, you know? But I think the artist's life for me, I don't want it to feel like torture. I want it to feel
Amen.
Like there's peace and that I have peace. If I were to ask, like for me, like it's the easy things for artists that in the ways that you support them. It's so easy. It's listening to the record when it comes out. And that's like, it's crazy because it's so hard sometimes to even ask for that because we live in a world that's so deficit of attention and care. But what are you doing just to see them? When they put out a song, to like a post, to share a song with a friend, to say their names in rooms that they're not in, that is like the biggest gift for artists. You know, so if I had more of that in my life, and I've had a lot of, that's what's crazy, is even though I've had a lot, I could always use more. And isn't that insane that like I've had an abundance of that and I'm always searching for more. So that's where my character needs to come into some play and evaluation and some checking. I want to find some peace. But if you want to help your artist friend see them, share their songs, show up for them when they're putting on a show, don't make it feel like you're doing them a favor. Try to find the beauty and the gift of that and how you can receive it as a gift, because they really are trying to give to you something of themselves.
Yeah. There was something that James just said that really resonated with me. When you support an artist and when they're not in the room, make it seem like they're the loudest voice in the room based on how much you love them and advocate for them. And so with that, we just want to thank you so much for being our third Brehm session. Let's give it up for James Paek.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for being here.